Hi there, I'm Carl Azus, and you found your way to this Wednesday edition of CNN Student News. First up, some headlines from Capitol Hill. 1 week before President-elect Barack Obama's inauguration, the Senate is holding confirmation hearings for some of his cabinet picks. Senator Hillary Clinton, the nominee for Secretary of State, spoke with the committee yesterday. She addressed the agency's wide-ranging impact, from the conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan to the U.S. policy toward Cuba, even the role the State Department might play in economic issues.
I assure you that if I am confirmed, the State Department will be firing on all cylinders to provide forward-thinking, sustained diplomacy in every part of the world, applying pressure wherever it may be needed, but also looking for opportunities, exerting leverage, cooperating with our military and other agencies of government.
Meanwhile, the president-elect is hoping to persuade Congress to support his plan for how to spend the second half of that $700 billion financial bailout we've told you about. President-elect Obama met with Senate Democrats yesterday to discuss the Troubled Asset Relief Program, or TARP. That's what the bailout is officially called. Lawmakers from both parties have expressed concerns about how the Treasury Department spent the first $350 billion. The country's budget deficit dug a bit deeper in December, expanding by $83.6 billion. That brings the total deficit for the first 3 months of the 2009 fiscal year to just over $485 billion. The fiscal, or financial year, starts in October. Just for comparison, the budget deficit for the entire 2008 fiscal year was $455 billion. Experts predict the federal deficit will hit $1.2 trillion by next October 1st.
Time for the shout-out. Where does the phrase government of the people, by the people, for the people appear? Is it the Declaration of Independence, Gettysburg Address, U.S. Constitution, or the Treaty of Versailles? You've got 3 seconds. Go! Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address includes that famous phrase. That's your answer, and that's your shout-out.
It only took about 2 minutes for President Lincoln to give the Gettysburg Address, but it has become one of the most famous speeches in U.S. history and part of Lincoln's enduring legacy. He went from humble beginnings to the highest office in the land, and Americans, including some of Lincoln's successors, seem to be just fascinated with the 16th president. Carol Costello examines this love of Lincoln.
He's a rock star. No, not him. Him! The big man in the stovetop hat is Washington's it man. Barack Obama reveres him, opting to use Lincoln's Bible at his inaugural, visiting Lincoln's memorial on Saturday in D.C., and speaking of Lincoln's spirit often.
Abraham Lincoln did not simply win a war or hold the Union together.
Even George Bush, in his last news conference as president, spoke of a spiritual bond with Lincoln.
I've been reading, a lot about Abraham Lincoln during my presidency, and there's some pretty harsh discord when it came to the 16th president, just like there's been harsh discord for the 43rd president.
Historians say Richard Nixon related to Lincoln, too. His sentiments playing out in the movie Nixon. It's true. Nixon paid a midnight visit to Lincoln's memorial at the height of the Vietnam War, searching for spiritual answers from a dead Civil War president, but finding war protesters instead.
Hi, I'm Dick Nixon.
Some historians worry all of this Lincoln love is a bit much. Harold Holzer wrote, Lincoln, president-elect.
I worry when presidents try to massage the lessons of history to fit the contours of their own problems and their own reactions.
While Holzer does not think Barack Obama is guilty of that, others do. Perhaps it began during the campaign when George McGovern introduced Obama in Illinois.
Illinois gave us Abraham Lincoln. That state may now have given us a second Abraham Lincoln.
Or when artists started to morph Obama's and Lincoln's faces, meet Linkoma. Or when Obama said a portrait of Lincoln in his office asks him questions. It prompted former Reagan speechwriter Peggy Noonan to write in the Wall Street Journal, I'm sure that Lincoln portrait asks, Barack, why are you such an egomaniac? Or perhaps, is it no longer possible in American politics to speak of another's greatness without suggesting your own? Others give Obama and other Lincoln lovers the benefit of the doubt. Lincoln's history is so rich, so varied, there is something about him we can all relate to.
Actually, it seems every American has a fascination with Abraham Lincoln. He is by far the favorite American president ever. And if you check on Amazon.com, there are more than 1,000 books available right now on Abraham Lincoln. Carol Costello, CNN, Washington.
Is this legit? No U.S. state has a total ban on using a cell phone while driving. This one's true. No state has a total ban, although it's against the law to talk on a handheld phone in several states.
All right, a couple of months ago, we aired a report on the potential dangers of texting while driving. Well, now there's one organization that's asking lawmakers to signal the end of all cell phone use behind the wheel. This group says it's all in the name of safety. Cell phone companies say they are being singled out unfairly. Hang up and drive. The National Safety Council wants to make that much more than a bumper sticker. It's calling for a nationwide law against phoning while driving. No handsets, no Bluetooth, no texting. If you're operating a car, you would not be operating a cell phone. The council cited a Harvard study from 2003 that estimated cell phone use on the road contributed to 6% of auto accidents. The council says when our friends are drinking, we take the car keys away. It's time to take the cell phone away. You can guess where the cell phone industry stands on this. They don't like it. And many Americans wouldn't either. According to Nationwide Insurance, more than 80% of U.S. drivers say they've used the phone while behind the wheel. A spokesman for Wireless Association CTIA says, "We believe there can be safe, sensible, responsible cell phone use for a brief period of time." CTIA also believes that cell phones are taking too much of the blame over other distractions, like eating, fiddling with the radio, getting distracted with passengers, or reading. But the Safety Council says none of these distractions is as dangerous as talking on a phone. Currently, the group notes that it's illegal in 6 states to use a handheld cell phone while behind the wheel, but no state has a total ban on phoning while driving. And the council admits this won't be a very popular idea among governments and politicians, meaning a cell phone ban could be an extremely tough call to make. So what do you drivers out there think of this? Would you hang up and drive? You can tell us on our blog at cnnstudentnews.com. And meanwhile, a few hundred of you commented on yesterday's dance-off between me and CNN anchor Wolf Blitzer, and I am happy to say I had 100% of that vote till we found out the thing was broken. But your comments told the truth. Austin said, "Carl, you've won. Just don't ever do that in front of the nation again." Gunner thought I was the best dancer and asked whether I did that backstage or out in public. It was totally backstage, Gunner, when I thought no one was recording. Yeah, I learned that lesson. Veronica asked what I did with the money my mom gave me for dance lessons. Thanks, Veronica. Adam wrote, "When Carl busted a move, I busted a gut." Alex claims he's got moves just like mine, which could be kind of scary. Miss Stedman's class says, well, actually Ellen DeGeneres had the best moves. And Chuck said, Carl's hips don't lie, Shakira's do. Well, okay, we're going to stick with that musical theme for today's Before We Go. Do you remember these guys?
Hear Obama, hear us sing. We're ready for the change that you will.
That would be a group of students from Atlanta's Ron Clark Academy, whose presidential campaign-inspired rap landed them in the national spotlight and on our show. Well, they are taking their act on the road. Next stop, Washington, D.C., where the pint-sized performers will take the stage at several inaugural ball events with their new number, Dear Obama. Though we're not quite sure who that one's about, we are sure we will be back tomorrow. Hope to see you then.